They say that in the heart of every kingdom, there lies a secret so dark, it could bring the entire throne crashing down. But among all the secrets whispered in the royal courts of Europe, one stands above them all, the man in the iron mask. A prisoner whose name was erased from history, whose face was never seen, and whose only crime was knowing the truth. It began in the mid-1600s, during the golden yet ruthless reign of King Louis XIV of France, the Sun King, a monarch known for his power, his wealth, and his obsession with control. Louis built the Palace of Versailles, a paradise of mirrors, marble, and gold. But beneath its beauty lay shadows darker than any dungeon. In the year 1669, whispers began to spread through the corridors of power. A mysterious prisoner had been taken into custody, not by soldiers, but by the king's own secret guards. He was sent to the fortress of Pignerol, a place where prisoners were not just forgotten. They were erased. This man was different. He was given no name, no trial, no record, only one order from the king himself. He must never show his face. A heavy iron mask was forged, cold, silent, and unbreakable. It was locked upon his head. The guards who placed it there were executed to ensure silence. And from that moment on, this man ceased to exist. For over 3 decades, the masked prisoner was moved from one secret fortress to another, from Pignerol to Exils, and finally to the dreaded Bastille. Each warden received the same command: provide him with comfort, but never reveal his identity. If he speaks his name, kill him. But despite the chains and walls, rumors began to leak. Some said he was a nobleman who angered the king. Others whispered he was the twin brother of Louis XIV, hidden away to protect the throne. And a few dared to believe he was something far more dangerous: the king himself. You see, Louis XIV's reign was built upon the idea that he was chosen by God, the living son of France. But imagine, for a moment, if another man existed who looked exactly like him. Another Louis, born on the same night, from the same bloodline. A twin who could claim the crown. The legend says that when the queen gave birth, 2 cries were heard in the chamber. 2 sons, not one. To avoid chaos, the second child was hidden, raised in secrecy. And when he grew older, someone realized he bore the exact face of the king. In a world where one face ruled millions, that face became the most dangerous weapon of all. Historians believe that Cardinal Mazarin, the king's advisor, and Anne of Austria, the queen mother, were part of the secret. When the truth threatened to escape, the boy was taken away, vanished from the world, locked behind an iron mask so that no one would ever see the mirror image of the king again. Years later, a French officer named Benign d'Auvergne de Saint-Mars became the guardian of this mysterious man. Everywhere Saint-Mars went, the masked prisoner followed, always under heavy guard, always in silence. Letters between royal officials confirm the existence of such a man. One treated with unusual respect, given fine clothes, books, and meals, yet forbidden to speak a single word. Who was he that even kings trembled at his name? One story says that a young soldier once saw the prisoner's face by accident. Within 24 hours, that soldier vanished. Another rumor says the prisoner once tried to write a note to the outside world. But the moment he did, the warden burned it and replaced his guards. For 34 long years, the man lived and died in captivity. He was buried under a false name, Marchioli, but even death could not bury the whispers. When the Bastille was stormed in 1789, revolutionaries found his cell. A small, dark room with iron bars and marks carved into the wall that read, "The king is not the only son." The discovery reignited the mystery. Was this man truly Louis's twin? Or was he the rightful king, betrayed and erased by his brother? Centuries later, historians tried to solve the riddle using records, letters, and prison logs. They found proof of a secret prisoner under St. Mars's watch, a man transported under disguise, whose meals were served before others, whose identity was hidden even from the guards. Voltaire, the great philosopher, was the first to claim the truth publicly. He said, The man in the iron mask was the brother of the king. But what if it wasn't just family rivalry? What if the mask was more than a symbol of secrecy? What if it was a punishment? A reminder that some truths are too dangerous to be seen. Because behind the glittering halls of Versailles, Louis XIV ruled with fear. He silenced dissent, erased enemies, and crafted an image of divinity. He wanted France to believe he was eternal, the living sun. But if there existed another Louis, the illusion would crumble. The people would question the divine order. And so, the mask became the king's greatest weapon. Even today, no one truly knows who the man was. Some documents were destroyed. Others were sealed by royal decree for centuries. But strange details remain, like the fact that every guard who served him was either promoted mysteriously or vanished after their duty. When his cell was examined centuries later, researchers found faint scratches on the walls, lines forming words in Old French. Translated, they read, "I was born to rule, but not to be seen." Was it the cry of a forgotten prince, or a reflection of the king's own guilt? His soul imprisoned behind another man's face? Even modern historians can't agree. Some say the prisoner was an exiled general or an illegitimate son. Others believe he was indeed the true heir, hidden by those who feared the truth. But there's one undeniable fact. No one in history has ever been erased so completely, and yet remembered so powerfully. The man in the iron mask represents something far deeper than a royal mystery. He is the shadow of power, the price of control, the silence behind glory. Every throne hides its ghost. Every king buries his sins. And sometimes the crown is not made of gold, but of iron. When you walk through the ruins of the Bastille today, you can still feel it. The cold air that once filled his cell, the echo of footsteps long gone, the silence that speaks louder than any scream. And somewhere, deep in that silence, you can almost hear the clinking of metal, a reminder that even kings cannot hide their secrets forever, because in the end, truth has a face, and no mask, not even one of iron, can hide it forever.